National Association of the Advancement of Coloured People. They're saying you're doing the cause of black people no good by what you're doing and the records you're making.
When you try to sweep stuff that's happening under the rug, you know that's causing a problem too. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just as bad as, you know, talking about it. You know, so they try to pretend all this stuff never happened, and they try to pretend that you know, we're so bad for the kids, but they don't come down on cable TV or movies or anything like that. You know, so how they gonna come down on us?
On March 1987, a group of fairly unknown guys would release a hit single by the name of Boyz N the Hood. Arabian Prince, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Eazy E. Soon to be known as NWA, Nerds with Attitudes. Now, most of these guys would come out of Compton, California, and today I'm taking you on an iconic location tour of NWA, where they grew up, where they recorded their first album, Straight Outta Compton, and much, much more. So if you're on board, let's go. This right here behind me is Eric Wright's childhood home, aka Eazy E. And right behind me right here is everyone's favorite doctor, Dr. Dre's childhood home, aka real name, Andre Young. And right behind me here is O'Shea Jackson's childhood home, aka Ice Cube. And just for the record, Arabian Prince, his childhood address was undocumented. I couldn't find it in any of my research, but he also grew up right here in Compton, California. Now, I also want to say that today is a very rainy day, so I don't mind getting wet, but my camera does. It's not waterproof, so we'll get through this. Now, Eazy E was known as the godfather of gangster rap, and he was one of the founders of NWA. Eazy E was the closest to a gang member in NWA. He was a high school dropout. Now, he would go on to get his GED later on in life, but he allegedly would sell drugs on the street and make money. The rest of the guys would jokingly call Eazy E the pharmacist of the neighborhood, if you know what I mean. He saved up a ton of money. Over $200,000, and he would end up starting his own record label, Ruthless Records. He was 23 at this time. Now, there's something that isn't talked about a lot with Eazy E, and that is that he was a natural businessman. He knew how to make deals and close them. And this is a lot of the reason why NWA became as big as they did. If you wanted to check out Eazy E's childhood home, it's out here on Morrell Avenue in Compton, California. Now, around the time Eazy E started Ruthless Records, Dr. Dre was already in a well-known local LA group called World Class Wrecking Crew. He was in this group with DJ Yella, who would also go on to be part of NWA. At this point, Dre and Eazy already knew each other, along with Arabian Prince. Now, they weren't good friends, but they certainly were acquaintances. Now, Ice Cube was one of the only members in the group that was not from Compton, California. He was actually from a pretty quiet Los Angeles neighborhood. Around 1986, Ice Cube was in a hip-hop group by the name of CIA, Crew in Action. CIA sounded a lot like Beastie Boys, Run DMC, kind of early 80s hip-hop. Now, he was in this group with KD and Sir Jinx. Now, Sir Jinx is Dr. Dre's cousin. And because Dr. Dre was such a big name around LA and Compton at the time, CIA would oftentimes try to get Dr. Dre's attention, and they wanted him to come over and listen to the recordings. And since Dr. Dre and Sir Jinx were cousins, they were hoping for their way into the music industry because of that. Now, Dr. Dre would end up hearing CIA, his cousin's Sir Jinx recordings, and was impressed with Ice Cube's flow. And because he was so impressed, he actually started working with Ice Cube. Now, at this time, Ice Cube was still in high school. He was only 17. And up to this point, NWA was already in the works with Dr. Dre, Eazy E, and Arabian Prince. And because of Eazy E's new label, Ruthless Records, they were looking for fresh new talent. And they would soon welcome Ice Cube into the group.
You wrote Boyz N the Hood for Eazy. Now, was it?
I wrote it for a group called HBO, Homeboys Only.
Okay.
They was out of New York.
Okay,
Queens,
yes.
Queens, I believe. And the lyrics was just foreign to them. They was like, you talking another language, man. And I was.
Now this is a point where Dr. Dre brought in Ice Cube. They would make the song Boyz N the Hood. Ice Cube wrote the lyrics. Dre, Arabian Prince, and DJ Yella would lay down the beats and the music. Now the idea was to bring in an East Coast rap group called HBO to lay down the vocal tracks. Apparently they had it all set up, but after HBO saw the lyrics, they decided to reject it. Apparently it was just not their brand of rap. Now at this point they didn't really have anybody else that was willing to rap the song. Ice Cube was already in his group CIA, and Dre was already in his own group as well. The only person left that could possibly do the song was Eazy. And let's remember, Eazy was not a performer at this time. He was a businessman, a good one, but not a performer. After talking Eazy E into actually performing on the track, they had to go at it very, very slow. Eazy E had to rap each line one by one. Apparently it took 2 days to finish that one song. The song, Boyz N the Hood, would go on to becoming a local big hit. At this point, NWA was formed and would go on to being the quintessential of what would be known as gangster rap. Our next stop is a huge step forward for NWA. Let's go. Now right behind me here is where all the magic happened. Right now I'm in Torrance, California, and this is where they recorded Boyz N the Hood and Straight Outta Compton. Now around this time is when 2 other members joined NWA. We had DJ Yella and MC Ren. And also around this time is when they started working with a new manager, Gerald Heller, aka Jerry Heller. Now, Straight Outta Compton was their first studio album. Now, they had another album before this, and that album was a compilation album. It was called NWA and the Posses. Now, it was NWA with a few other artists on the album, so technically was a NWA album, but also with other bands on it. So yeah, like I said, a compilation. Now, NWA's first album, Straight Outta Compton, would blow up. I mean, the album took off. And this album would truly highlight gangster rap. Now, I do want to say right now that NWA never called their music gangster rap. They called it reality rap. However, the media took on to gangster rap, and that's what it was known from then on. Well, shortly after this album would come out, Arabian Prince would leave the group. Straight Outta Compton came out on the label of Ruthless Records. And I believe Jerry Heller would help out with the distribution of the album. Now, as the album was selling very well, it was making everybody a good chunk of money. However, in 1989, Ice Cube asked for more royalties. He felt like he was doing a lot of work in the band. He was writing more than half of the lyrics on the album, that he should get more compensation. However, both Jerry and Eazy E didn't think the same as Ice Cube. Ice Cube in 1989 would leave NWA, going on to his own successful solo career. So successful, in fact, we're gonna go look at one of Ice Cube's mansions. Now, this is just one of them. I believe a lot of the mansions that a lot of the ex-NWA members own you can't get to. They're gated off, and if I could get up there, I would, but we're just gonna go and do what we can. Let's go check that mansion. Right now I'm in Marina Del Rey, and right behind me here is one of Ice Cube's mansions, one of his big homes. Let's go check it out. And now through my research I found that Ice Cube actually bought this home not to be his permanent home, but it's more of basically a pad for him and his buddies to kind of come over and kind of chill. Now through my research I found out that Splits champion Jean-Claude Van Damme actually owned this house before Ice Cube. Ice Cube, like the others from NWA, have several different homes. This home here is definitely not his main family home. So it looks like this bridge right here is a way we can get across and look across the water at the front of his mansion. So let's go. Okay, hold up. Second thought, as I'm walking over here, there's a path right here that I believe will lead to the front of his house. Certified creeped on his mansion here. Check out the front. So it looks like a 3-story house with a balcony on the 3rd floor and then a rooftop above the 3rd floor. And this right here is the view from the house. On March 28th, 1991, NWA would come out with their second studio album. But it was not too long after the second studio album came out that Dr. Dre ended up leaving NWA, and that pretty much ended NWA. Now, he went on to his very, very successful solo career. He started his own record label, Death Row Records, and he brought in people like Snoop Dogg, Tupac, just like on and on. He had a very successful career, and he came out with several of his own solo albums as well. Now after that, Eazy E would also come out with his own solo albums, and all of them were very successful out of NWA. I mean, they've already made a name for themselves. So, but before Eazy E became a multi-millionaire and bought his huge mansion over in Calabasas, California, he bought a very humble house, a very modest house. I believe that he probably bought it off of the first album, Straight Outta Compton. And we're gonna go over there and we're gonna look at that house next. Let's go. Now right behind me is the first home Eazy E would buy. Now it's a very modest home. Now I assume he bought this house right after he started getting some money from Straight Outta Compton. Now this is nothing like his Calabasas mansion, which looks like this. Now there's plenty of photos online of Eazy E taking photos around this whole area, and you can see oftentimes a lot of the photos up against this wall. Now on the other side of this wall is the exit from the 605. Now if you wanted to come out to Eazy E's Norwalk home, the very first home he would buy, it's over here on Flatbush Avenue, Norwalk, California.
You doing it from right here?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm Eazy E from the world's most dangerous rap group, NWA. And we'd like to thank everybody at the NARM You know who's down and who's not. I'm out of here.
So right now I'm out here in Westminster, and this is Rose Hill Memorial. Specifically, I'm at Lupin Lawn here in Rose Hill Memorial, and this is where Eazy E would be laid to rest. Now, he passed away from AIDS-induced pneumonia on March 26, 1995. Apparently, it was around the time when NWA were thinking about getting back together. It was just an untimely time of death. Now, I came out here many months ago as the recording of this video, and that video will be at the end of this one, so we're not going to go over all the detail. If you want to see that, check that video out at the end. But as I said in that video, and I'll say it again, this is a awesome headstone. I mean, if you want to memorialize somebody and truly capture an essence of that person, this is the way you do it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video, you're also gonna like the video where I came out and filmed the ceremony of Eazy E getting his own street name. That happened a good few months ago from the recording of this video. If you like this video, you might want to check that one out. It had DJ Yella and a couple people from Bone Thugs and Harmony. Go check it out right over here. And if you want to check out another video, check this video out right here. I went out to Eazy E's grave site many months ago. Go check out either one of those videos, guys, and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.